welcome back. We are jumping into another German Shepherd on Underdog, which is the Superflex tournament they have running right now. We wake up with the 1-1 again. So the first time we had the 1-1, I think we kind of screwed the pooch, no pun intended. Yeah, I was not happy with our draft instruction. What we ended up doing was pairing James Cook with Josh Allen. And then I think we ended up with, like, I don't remember, it could have been Matt Stafford. I'm not sure who was there with him, but I wasn't super happy with that. So let's see if we can do a little bit better of a job today, utilizing the 1-1, and we are going to take Allen. You guys watch me, you know I'm a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, and in a Superflex environment, I am absolutely snapping Allen with the 1-1. And then we'll just get what we get down here. We do probably want another quarterback down here, and then maybe just look to do a garbage quarterback late. I think you want three. I think even when you start double elite QB in the first two rounds, you do end up wanting three. I think first of all, this is 20 rounds, not 18, so you can afford to hold an extra spot on your roster. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be a starter, but somebody you think might take the starting job, etc. Just helps round you out a little bit better. So the three-player electing to pull up Robinson above Jackson, but that's fine. For a Superflex draft, this is pretty chalk. Allen, Gibbs, Robinson, Jackson, May. Daniels, Burrow is next, and then you wade into a little bit of receiver territory with Puka and Chase. So the 7th spot elects to take Chase. I understand, and I like it. Hurts goes off the board above Burrow. I actually have Williams and Herbert above Hurts this year. Herbert is maybe equal with Hurts or just slightly above, and then I have Hurts kind of in Prescott range. Although in a vacuum, I think I want Prescott over Hurts this year. It's weird, but it's where I'm at. All right, Caleb Williams goes next. So you tend to see that range of QBs kind of goes right through here. It is weird to see Hurts and Williams both before Burrow, but Burrow will be the next couple of picks for sure. And at 24, the wide receiver value looks the quarterback value looks like Bo Nix, Jared Goff, Kyler Murray. That's kind of, unless one of these guys falls, that's kind of who we're looking at. I'm a little higher on like Mayfield than I am some of these guys, which is weird, but I think that offense is going to return to previous year's form this year with Ibuka and Godwin. With Evans gone, it's kind of like a little bit of a condensed route tree there, and I think that you also have some improvements to the backfield now that you have Bucky Irving paired with Kenneth Gainwell. I think that's a pretty devastating backfield. So, all right, Herbert, Dak Prescott go at the 12-13, the 1-2 turn. The Nakua player opts to go with McCaffrey. They're punting on quarterback. That is one way to do this. There's three schools of thought here. If you're not familiar with Superflex, first school of thought is robust QB. You're going to grab 2 or 3 QBs, even 3, through the first 3 rounds. The polarized school of thought is you're just going to ignore QB, and you'll go with a smattering of Bryce Young and Tua and whatever, and you're going to stoop all the positional advantage of people who are drafting, Williams, Burrow, and Herbert in the first round. You're going to grab the McCaffrey that falls, and, when people are drafting Lawrence and Dart, and Jigba falls, right? So there's that school of thought. And then there's the third school of thought, which is balance, which says you're going to take the positional value, including the quarterbacks, as it comes. I tend to kind of sit in that camp. With Mahomes and Knicks off, again, there's kind of a tier break unless Purdy falls to us, which I would have taken Purdy there. This is kind of hard to pull any of these guys up. Actually, we pulled up Tyler Shugg. We pulled Shugg up in our last draft. So that's what we decided to do here. So there is Genty. There's also Goff. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Ashton Genty, and I'm going to take Jared Goff, and just kind of move on. And that's where we're at. There is a school of thought with Allen that you can afford to wait. I did not want to be in the position where it's Allen plus Bryce Young, right? At 48-49, when you look at QB here, you are into that Bryce Young. Daniel Jones I actually like this year. I think he's way undervalued. But you're in that Cam Ward to Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers range, which I might want one of those guys as my QB3, not as my QB2. So having Allen paired with those guys, I feel like will be good. Genty is a phenomenal piece to have with an Allen. Genty, I think his ceiling's a top 5 running back this year. His floor is kind of like top 12. I guess his floor technically is a lot lower than that, but his likely floor is somewhere at like 11, 12, 13 in terms of a running back asset. But I think more than likely he's just inside the top 10, right? He's running back 7. And if you look where we got him at running back, 6. And again, Ken Walker, Barkley, Hampton, these guys are all guys I would consider up here, but I'm overstacked on Hampton for sure in my portfolio right now. And Jetty just felt like the right way to go here. Barkley's would have been another good consideration. It kind of just how you feel on it, but I want to grab more Genty, so I kind of went in that direction. But all these guys are defensible. I have Cook. I actually have Cook above McCaffrey and Taylor this year. I don't draft him. I've said this before in drafts. I don't draft him generally above those guys because I just let my draft position dictate sort of my exposure. But I am heavier weighted on Cook for sure than most of the running backs in the first round. I have 0% Gibbs because I have yet to store the first overall draft pick or number 2 pick in this tournament. So I am 0% Gibbs this year. That will change. I'm going to draft enough of these, hopefully, that changes, but it's interesting. I do have a fair amount of Robinson, which I'm happy to have. A fair amount of Chase as well. Underweight Taylor and McCaffrey, certainly. Fair amount of CD Lamb. So I got a good smattering of those first round guys. All right, I like Shug here. Hertz, Lawrence, Shug, and Hampton. That's a great stack right there. It's a phenomenal stack. Hampton and Genty are kind of in the same range. Hampton a little bit lower. He's got Hertz and Lawrence. We've got Allen and Goff. So it'll depend on what we pick up here. At the 48, if we look at quarterback, because I would like to grab one of these guys, I'm kind of this run of dudes, I'm really kind of higher on Daniel Jones than the other two. Cam Ward's okay. I have a ton of Cam Ward. I guess Malik Willis could be okay. But I think, yeah, Daniel Jones might not be in previous form. Um, but if he gets there, which when we have Allen and Goff, we can afford to sort of carry some weight there, and he goes. I think he's going to be good. So, okay, looking at this board right now, we kind of have to make a decision. Do we want to bring up? Do we want to grab a Bryce Young as our third or an Aaron Rodgers? I think we actually want to grab Fernando Mendoza, as I'm thinking about. No, you know what? Let's grab Young. So we'll grab Young there. Oh, we gave us McBride. Well, he was going to be my other pick, and then we'll grab Bryce Young. Um, the other thing is that we could just grab Reset with McBride if we think he's going to keep the job, and I actually am going to do that. So interesting to do that, but I wasn't super high on Bryce Young. I say this every draft. I get timed out one time a tournament, but that's fine. McBride was going to be my other consideration, and then maybe look to grab Brissett later. I'm actually okay doing this. If you guys played in any sort of Superflex environment last year and you had Brissett on your team, you know that guy was just slinging the ball, and I think and he did pretty good. I think the game script in Arizona is going to be very conducive to that. So I'm going to pull Brissett up here. I'm kind of actually happy to do it. We do need to catch up at running back a little bit, but at 72-73 in a super flex environment, there's still really good running back value. We're still looking at Quishon Junkins, maybe an Irving Falls, Tavarian Henderson, Bashal Tutin. So there is going to be very good running back value here for us. We could look to double tap running back, or we could look to grab our first receiver in that range. You also have guys like Tet, Garrett Wilson, McConkey. That was going to be the other consideration. If I grabbed Bryce Young here, I was going to look to snap Tet in the 72-73 range because that's right where he is. He's a little higher, but maybe he falls. If you miss him, you're still getting McConkey, Adbuka, Evans, all these guys. So as far as stacks go, JMO is another consideration. We're kind of going to be off ADP here for him, right? Where's JMO? He's much further down, somewhere in here, right? He's at 84, and we're kind of in between, right? We don't get back here until 96. I'm not going to pull him up 10 spots, but he would be a good consideration with Goff. As far as Brissett, yeah, we could maybe look for Michael Wilson later. That's fine. And then DJ Moore is another consideration given that we have Allen. We definitely want to grab another running back. I don't think Cam makes it back to us, but I would love to get him, but he probably won't. Again, I think we're looking at Juckins. Oh, did Juckins just go? Someone's a believer. Yeah, we have a believer here. Which I am too, so I totally get it. I totally get it. So, but yeah, we have a believer in the Juckins camp. So looking at across the board here through 6, Williams, Dart, Mayfield, really nice sort of quarterback value through three here. Brown and Pickens love the wide receiver room. Started with Judkins is great. Stedabo almost falls to us. So again, we've got if DeAndre Swift falls, we'll absolutely take him. And I think we grab one of the receivers. Okay, so he goes. So I think I'm going to take Michael Tuden. And then of these receivers, I think I'm the highest on Ibuka. Yeah, let's take Ibuka. Definitely want to snap one of them off. Now we're behind a receiver because we have a McBride, but most teams only have one or two receivers. One team has three, so we're not that far behind. And we do have Genty paired with Tootin as well as Allen. So we've got the number one quarterback, a top five running back, top 20 QB. I think Brissett's going to finish as top 20 if he keeps the job. I guess we grab, who is it, Carson Beck? Whoever's the backup down there later, just in case. Although again, I've said that this in these drafts that when you're shooting shots like this at $5, grabbing the unwantable sort of borderline usable handcuff to one of your QBs when that handcuff, like Malik Willis as Jordan Love's handcuff, was actually very valuable in a setting like this last year because Malik Willis had come on the field and produce. If Brissett loses that job or goes down to injury, I don't know what Carson Beck looks like in the NFL. So I, I don't think that wins you a tournament like this. I think that if one of these guys goes down, like that's your tournament shot. You're just that's it. So I don't necessarily look to handcuff because you kind of the things kind of have to go right for you to win these types of tournaments. So again, Jamison Williams will not fall to us. He'd have to drop what 7 spots? Oh, almost 10 spots. Yeah, that's not going to happen. 12 spots. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So we'll go ahead and unflag him because that's just not going to happen. But a Dunze could fall. DJ Moore is right on EDP, which would be great. Uh, I think I like Tyson in this range. I don't mind Dottle. Yeah, this is Turnout Pick's fine. There's a good range of guys here. RJ Harvey, a little less high on him. I do like Tucker Craft, and I don't have a ton of him this year. He just goes there. So where's Laporta? Given that we have Laporta's at 112. So I think it's going to be a little hard to pull him up. We're probably going to miss Laporta. I don't think he would be a bad pairing with McBride. I just don't want to pull him up, you know, I don't know. What is that? 15 spots? This doesn't seem, a round and a half seems a little steep to pull up when we already have Trey McBride, right? So Tate off the board. I mean, I'm going to take DJ Moore if he's down here. I think having him as a stack would be great. We can only grab like Skylar Bell in the final round too. Odunze goes, yeah, all the usual suspects right in this range. Watson, hope that more. Jameson Williams is still on the board. No way. No way. I will absolutely take Jameson. Well, this guy's gonna grab one right now. He's gonna grab Jameson Williams. I grabbed Goff from the Gibbs at St. Brown player. I didn't realize that. I'm assuming he's gonna take Williams here. Oh my God, we get such a gift. We get Williams stacked with um, Williams stacked with Goff and Moore stacked with Allen. So all of our team is all of our receiving options, with the exception of Abuka, are stacked. Now we are so far behind on running back, it's not funny, but now we're going to play catch up, and we're going to hope that Genty and Tootin do their job, and now we're going to really start playing catch up down here. But I feel really good about this start. And if we look at running back coming through the 121-21, we're going to be looking at, well, Dobbins won't be there, but I said Williams wasn't going to be there, and he fell. Unbelievable. Gainwell probably won't fall. Rashad White, Aaron Jones, one of those guys may fall. There's a lot of receiver value through here. We are not going to be enticed. We are going to make sure we do get a running back or two. Running back's a little more important in here because you start two receivers, not three. And so, yes, either can go in your flex, but um, grabbing the double stacked wide receiver value we did here, and then watching this run on running backs is kind of funny. We probably the more balanced approach probably would have been not to take more there and pick up one of these guys. Which of these guys, Dowdle and Dobbins are my two preferences. But that being said, I again because we have the positional sort of advantage with McBride. Getting these two receivers actually, again, I don't want to say catches our wide receiver room up, but it definitely gives it a facelift, right? And as opposed to the wide receiver room for team two here and team four, oh, and team, wow, and team three, two, three, four. Team two only has St. Brown through nine. Team three only has Tet McMillan through nine. And team four has only Zay Flowers and Christian Watson through nine. And they have five running backs here on this team. Murray and Jones. Wow, I did not realize that the Gibbs St. Brown player, when we took golf there, that was just on value. I didn't realize we sniped them from assembling the stack here. And then they would have gotten Williams down here. That's wild. Yeah. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. Yeah, well. Okay. Well, if there's even a thought these guys are going to fall, I'm going to go ahead and flat them. Again, they probably won't, but there's still good receiver value here, too. So maybe taking a running back up here, having a Dobbins instead of a Moore, we would have gotten an excellent wide receiver down here, right? Michael Wilson is right there to stack with Brissett, but okay. Okay, Rashad White and Jones, though. I'm hoping Gainwell falls. Of this crew, I'm kind of the highest on him. Cross Merritt's fine. Chris Rodriguez is fine. I love you pulling him up considerably. Yeah, we would have gotten a really nice receiving threat down here. Um, so lesson learned on that. We should have balanced this, taken a Dowdle or a Dobbins here, and then gotten. I just was so enticed with the stack that had to grab it. I'm still happy with it. It's totally fine. If more I mean, man, Laporta almost made it back to us as well. I definitely would have mixed him in here. I don't think we want two running backs. I thought we could. We need to catch up. So we could grab Kenny Gainwell plus Chris Rodriguez, maybe. Might as well take the backup to Tootin. They split the field, and whoever the hot hand is. Yeah, all right, we'll do that. Feels good. So we'll take Gainwell, and we'll take Chris Rodriguez. Now we just have Jacksonville's backfield, which I'm okay with that. One of these guys is going to be giving us points. Um, Gainwell should have weeks, and we're just going to ride the bell cow. So our team now through 11 rounds is Allen, Goff, Brissett, Genty, Tootin, Gainwell, Rodriguez, Edbuko, Williams, DJ Moore, Trey McBride. This team is sick. This team is absolutely sick. I mean, I don't know how well it fares, but from the one, I would say we navigated this much better. Absolutely. And I actually am happy we didn't get Bryce Young, although we would have gotten Tet here with the Buka. We'd have that stack. I actually think this Trey McBride Brissett stack is sneaky. And like I said, maybe we'd grab a Carson back. Let me make sure. Let me fact check myself. Yeah, he's the backup in Arizona, so maybe we'd grab him later. Don't think it really matters. Okay, 144, 145 is our ADP that we're drafting around next time. Still insane wide receiver on the board. Like Concepcion might fall down there. Happy to have him. Woody Marks, Isaiah Pacheco. I'm a little higher on Marks. In fact, I'm not even sure I have any Pacheco in my roster this year. And I'm actually pretty high on Tyler Algier too. And I'm only marking these guys because I do want another running back in that range. I don't think Tracy falls down that far. But it's all wide receivers through here. So important to note there, we probably didn't need to go more. Probably pick up another running back there, and then we're real caught up. But I mean, it's okay because we do need wide receiver value too. So of the wide receivers, I do like Parasol. If he falls, I don't think he will. Um, Concepcion, I have a ton of him. I am drafting the heck out of him. I guess Dobbs is a consideration. We should mix him in. Higgins I like a little less because I just don't like uh, CJ Stroud. And then the question becomes, do we want Carson back? How does the quarterback room look? So the Stroud player only has one quarterback. They do have Jamar Chase, Jason Smith, and Jed Russ, Saquon Barkley, Nico Collins. But they only have one quarterback. They have three, they have three, they have three. Burrow player only has Shedeur Sanders. They have three, they have three. Stroud, I don't know what you're doing. He has three, he has three. He's at four. So the Robinson player goes Purdy, Stafford, Ward, Young. Then get Stedabo and McMillan, Warren and Corum and Kittle. Yeah, that's they've got Purdy stacked with Kittle. They've got Bryce Young stacked with Tet. Yeah, they got the correlation with Corum, and they did not get Tate, but it's cool. Cousins off the board, Mitchell. So Carson Beck is the next QB up, I think. He is, but his ADP is 156, so we're off ADP for him. Again, I don't think it matters. I don't think that that's it. I don't think that's the one. I think you're riding with Brissett and you just do that. I don't think you take because again we have really good positional value here. If falls, I'm definitely taking him. But the Purdy player is right here, so they take Wandale Robinson to pair with Cam Ward. So that's cool. Concepcion Andros. Okay, so we're gonna take Parasol. I could pick up Golden here, but I think I want to pick up another one of these running backs, and I am just drafting a lot of Tyler Algier right now. I don't know what Jeremiah Love looks like. I've got the correlation with Arizona, which I don't think Arizona correlation is what you want on your draft team, but I just think even if Carson Beck goes to the Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, he's having his revenge for me sniping him on golf. Have him. Oh, he also got Penix as well. Okay. Did the London player, let's find a London player. Did the London player opt to take Tua? No. Tua went to the Darnold Mendoza. So Puka, McCaffrey, Henry, Darnold, Mendoza, Tua, Loveland, Burden, Monungai, Tyson, Worthy, Tracy. See, I think the quarterback room is way too weak. They have great positional value. I mean, same thing here, but I think your quarterback room is way, way too weak, right? I just don't think they're basically saying, okay, I'm never going to have a quarterback in my flex spot. And I barely am ever going to have a quarterback in my quarterback slot. If CJ Stroud gets injured here, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that team. Jackson, Love, Willis, Cook, Etienne, Flowers, Irving, Watson, Dowdle, Metcalf, Godwin, Likely, Golden. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. Like the Shug pick here in fourth, and he's great fourth round value, especially in a quarterback hungry room like this. The fact that we were able to sneak McBride in and not jeopardize our construction too much is pretty cool. Yeah, our RB room leaves a little bit to be desired, but we kind of went hero RB here and still got a Bashal Tutin to stack with the best Superflex fantasy asset in the entire lobby with two very serviceable quarterbacks behind him and still have Ibuka, Williams, Moore, and Parasol. And McBride, I mean, this team is stacked, absolutely stacked. So when it gets back to us at the 168, 169, we do need receivers. I still would take another running back as well. So, but we do need receivers. And in that range, well, there's Dylan Sampson. He'd be a consideration. Where is Kincaid? Kincaid probably already went. I wasn't thinking Kincaid on the way through because I have just such a blind spot for tight ends. But with Trey McBride, we probably only want two as long as our second one is decent. And when I say decent, Dalton Schultz is kind of like the floor of that, maybe an AJ Barner. So we might want to grab a tight end on the way around here so we don't have to get another one. If we wait all the way to the end of the draft, we'll have to pick up two. And we're not going to get, we already have our tight end stack here and we won't get Golfer Allen. So where did Kincaid go? Kincaid went, all right, he went back up here in the 11th round. So we would have had to pass on Rodriguez. I'm happy having Chris Rodriguez, especially after we needed to shore that up. So that's okay. And we got McBride. This team's time McBride or bust. Okay, so Schultz goes. So Juwan Jennings is an option. In fact, I'd probably grab him. And then we've got Travis Hunter. Juwan Jennings goes. Okay, so here I do like the wide receiver value. I'm pretty high on. Um, I'm pretty high on Juwan Jennings this year. I think he could just have a sneaky good season. We're on the board, so let's grab you know what? I'm a little low on Hunter. Let's actually grab Jonah Coleman, and then let's grab. Man, all these guys are the same guy. I have so much Juwan Jennings. Let's grab McMillan. Think he can get his looks this year. And again, now we're just probably going to take two tight ends at the bottom, and that's okay with McBride. We needed some wide receiver value there. So looking at our construction, we have three quarterbacks. We'll probably go three tight ends. We may be okay at running back now, taking Coleman. I feel pretty good on that front. And we're going to pump up to eight wide receivers. And we'll just grab a ton of wide receivers. So we'll go 3, 6, 8, 3. If there's another running back that strikes our fancy, we may consider them. But I need to pick up some wide receivers here on whatever tight ends. I don't think Barner, Helm, or Otten make it back, but I'm interested in those guys more so than I'm interested in other ones. So if any of those make it back, we'll take them. As far as the range of players we're going to be looking at here at 192, 193, uh, Ray Davis is interesting. If Cook goes down, he's just a league winner, and he will get some touchdowns this year. Jerry Jeudy is fine. I guess Tesla is fine when you have um, Jared Goff, which I think I have zero Tesla this year, so I guess I take him. And then, yeah, the rest of these guys now you're a little bit further down in ADP. That's fine. I don't have a lot of Nick Singleton either, so I guess we could go up to seven running backs. You only start two wide receivers, so I think maybe there's some value in a Ray Davis or Nick Singleton. And then again, I just am a little bit higher on those names, uh, right? Barner Helm and Otten than I am the next crew. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference at this point because I am with Trey McBride. I am happy to just wind up with Njoku and Parkinson or whatever. But I just flagged him just in case. And Fryermuth is kind of in the same boat. Like, I just think there are some weeks where Fryermuth touches a touchdown or two, which that could make the difference in this type of setting. And if you watch me, you know I have a ton of Mike Gesicki because I always just punt on tight end and like, well, he's the best name on the board. He does have Joe Burrow throwing to him. Something all right, Fryermuth does there. What did the Bowers player opt to do? The Bowers player took Ferguson and Gatson. So they did prioritize getting two more. The Loveland player took Barner. I like that. When we pay for McBride here in this format, we're betting though he stays healthy and that he does even remotely close to what he did last year. Tight end wise, I don't want to sprint on any of these guys. I don't care. So the question becomes, who do we want in here? I've got a fair amount of Ray Davis. I don't have a ton of Nick Singleton, so I think I take. Does Tesla go? Goodness, yeah, Tesla went. Lloyd's an interesting name. I got to start pulling him up a little bit more. Let's grab Singleton. I don't think I have him in any, and I guess we just do. You know what? I don't have a lot of Trey Harris. I know Judy said there, but I don't have a ton of Trey Harris this year. So okay, now we're definitely done at running back. We're going to take another probably two receivers and two tight ends, and we'll grab whatever two tight ends. Oh, we have three spots left. Excuse me. So one more receiver, two tight ends, and again, it won't matter. Just flag them like now. I don't care. That's fine. Mason Taylor. Sure. And coming back around, we definitely want another wide receiver. Oh yeah, that's right. This is start two wide receivers, so I'm okay with 7-7 here. Yeah, where are we going to be at? We're going to be like 200, 216. Excuse me. So yeah, you get some real interesting Tank Dell, Hurst, Ayuk if we want to shoot a flyer. But I think we're done this. We'll just take we'll take one of the tight ends, and then we'll take one of the wide receivers here, and then we'll get a tight end in the last round. But the very last pick in the draft. So our team is basically Allen Goff Brissett at QB, Genty, Tootin, Gainwell, Rodriguez, Algier, Coleman, and Singleton at RB. Again, we're hanging our hat on Genty, and then we just need Bishal, Tootin, or Gainwell to show up to the party, or Rodriguez or Algier occasionally. And then we've got Edbuka, Williams, Moore, Pearsall, McMillan, Harris at wide receiver. All things considered, I think our wide receiver room came out great. Edbuka is not stacked, but Jameson Williams, DJ Moore are, as well as Trey McBride. Yeah, seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Anthony Richardson, So they went Joe Burrow, and then they've got Sanders, McCarthy, and Richardson down here. I mean, their team wound up Taylor Lamb, Achan, Tyron Williams, T. Higgins, stacked with Burrow, Wilson, Waddle. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a really good team, but man, oh man, your quarterback room, even if they just, like in here, if they picked up Shud instead of Achan, if they picked up Shud or Stroud or Ward or Jones, I like their team so much better. You at least want a high likelihood that a quarterback is going to slot into your uh, Superflex spot. And here, there's a low likelihood any of these guys are ever sliding into their Superflex. So, all right, looks like the Gisecki ownership continues to increase. And then we'll take, I don't know if it matters. Um, all these guys are the same. I have no Calvin Ridley this year. I have to, oh, Gisecki goes. Okay, Colby Parkinson. We'll take him. You know what? Let's grab Ted Hurst. I guess I'm the highest on him out of this group. And then I'll grab Dawson Knox at the very bottom here. Why not? My bill will still be on the board. And we'll have him paired with Allen. So you've got Allen, Goff, Brissett, Genty, Tootin, Gainwell, Chris Rodriguez, Algier, Coleman, Singleton, Edbuka, Williams, Moore, Pearsall, McMillan, Trey Harris, Ted Hurst, McBride, Colby Parkinson, and we'll grab Dawson Knox at the end. I mean, we should get Dawson Knox at the end. His average draft position is 238, and I think 240 is the final pick. So unless somebody snipes us on him, I think we get him. And okay, so let's look across the board here. The Robinson player for stat QB picked up Stativo, McMillan, Warren, Corum, Kittle, Sutton, Robinson, Chig, Juwan Johnson, handcuffs, Bijan, with the other B Robinson, Jennings, Williams, Hicks, Bryant. I mean, yeah, this team's okay. Yeah, they are stacked at quarterback, but I think they maybe took it a little too far. I don't think they need Young there. I know they want to stack with Tap, but if they don't go Young or Ward there, they get their option at like adding a Hall or an ETN to this stack, or even a Neighbors or a Collins, and they're infinitely more powerful, I think. And I think three is plenty. Again, because you're betting things go right. Like you're not hoping things go right and building contingencies in this tournament means you're just taking guys and you're betting that everything goes right. Like this team wins the tournament if every single player hit their ceiling for the year. Yeah, sure. Like this team could do it. Like sure, but then everything has to go right, right? McBride doesn't drop off that far, stays pretty level with where he was last year. Genty turns into the running back that was prophesied. Allen is the number one asset. Again, Goff has a Detroit like ceiling, right? Because McBride is doing the thing, so is Reset getting garbage time. Tootin becomes the bell cow and is top 10 running back. Okay, all of a sudden this team is stacked. But if that doesn't happen, then grabbing a handcuff for my Ashton Genty or or even Bijan or Gibbs, that's not going to save the season. So I mean, I guess maybe stranger things have happened. Okay, so this is interesting. Takes Joe Burrow, takes Sanders, takes McCarthy, and then finishes Richardson, Mariota, Milton. So he's taking all the backups of the injury-prone quarterbacks. Taking so he's betting one of these guys is going to show up at the party, whether Jones doesn't make it, or Daniels doesn't make it, or Prescott doesn't make it. That's funny. I actually like that strategy. I actually don't mind that strategy at all. Problem is that Burrow sometimes doesn't make it, and you didn't back him up, so that's gonna cost you if Burrow goes down. But again, betting for the upside, right? Herbert, Prescott with Brown, Williams, Bowers. That's great. Rashi Rice, Mike Evans gets Watson late. Yeah, I like this team. I like that team a lot. Um, Gibbs going with Murray and Jones here. St. Brown, Hall, Swift. I don't love this team sitting next to me. I think they kind of fell into the trap I did when you take Gibbs here. It's really hard. Oh, Knox gets sniped. Holy moly, that's not cool. Um, whatever. Which one of these guys do we want? Pongus? No, let's take Mayer, in case Bowers doesn't make it. All right, so there you have it. I think we did much better. I actually really like this team. I think it's got sneaky upside. The amount of stats we have is great. We've got good backup running back potential here. Seems good. All right, we're going to do another one. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you like the video, please hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate you checking us out, and we'll see you in the next one.